Hi creative friends, this is Soraya and thank you so much for being here. So I'm gonna do a video today on my middle layers, and I don't think I've ever done a video on that before. Usually I do first layers, and I think that's really important because a lot of people, myself included, have a fear of the blank white page. So I think it's really important to know like a little bit, just a little like, how can I say this, like, just tricks, I guess, of, bypassing our fear and just diving right in. And, different substrates are going to be approached differently. So I think that's really important. And I think I've done a few videos on, how to make, like finish up a painting. But I think for middle layers, I've been kind of lax on making a video. So I made this particular background. This is Bristol paper, and basically all I did was added some tea stain collage, my dictionary pages, some of my own handmade collage over here, and just like Stabilo pencil, different I have these a box of Stabilo Aquacolor, which is different than my, all color Stabilo pencils. So I have this beautiful box, so I use some of those, and just paints, inks, drips, splashes, splatters, just everything, handwriting, whatever. So I don't think there'd be any interest in you guys wanting me to do a first layers on Bristol paper. I've already done quite a few videos on, on first layers, but I think also first layers on Bristol paper. But if you guys are interested and you want me to do another video, please let me know and I will absolutely have no problem doing that. But before I dive into that, I just wanted to show you guys from my last video series. This is the completed spread, and I know I said, oh, I wasn't gonna fuss about it and whatever, but I was kind of, working on it, and a few things I want to point out. So this over here in my last video, in my last video of this series, I talked about putting it on the other side, so it was like just more, it was a little bit different, it had more graphic qualities, and I said, hey, it picks up on this pattern a little bit, it's a little bit different, but I was really loving it. But then as I was putting my Mod Podge down, I looked at the underside and I kind of really like the underside more. It's not as like pizzazzy as the side I was gonna put on, but I kind of like this muted side, and that's what I mean about goals. We have goals, and some of them are very narrow, like, oh, I want to do A, B, and C, but then they're gonna change inevitably. Sometimes sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but generally speaking, as you paint, things are going to progress, and what might have worked at one stage may not really fit in the same way in a later stage. And another thing I wanted to point out, I also kind of like the shoulder was like too broad, and I think I mentioned that in the first video, like when I was using it like simple shapes to make this spread. So I just kind of like covered up the shoulders because I extended like way out here, and I just put some words over here. And I think that even though this is in my cheap line composition notebook over here, and I'm probably going to rip it up and soak it in tea and turn it into collage, I think that this would be a good spread in an art journal. Like I could come in here and I could like write stuff, and I could just add like different found papers and just whatever. I think this would be a good art spread that I could come in here and leave it as is or do more stuff to it. Anyways, I'm gonna put this away and I'm gonna jump into this over here. And basically, so this would be like my middle layers. So even though there's a lot of white on the page, I am comfortable with it, and I think I might even keep some of that white to completion. So I would consider this middle layers because I'm gonna start adding my figures now. So I'm just using my blue Stabilo, and I'm just gonna see like where I want to add my figures. And before I turn the camera on, I did kind of like turn it around and try to figure it out. So I think I am going to kind of go like so, and you know, actually that might be too high up. And that's a great thing about Stabilos, you guys, is you can just like wet a paper towel and just dip it in water and it just all comes out. So, okay, I'm gonna do a larger figure over here maybe. And I'm really loving all these splatters that happened, and also like this really beautiful pink that kind of happened. I'm really loving it. And I think I want to move, like the face was too high up maybe, so maybe I want to kind of move it down here a little bit. And this is going to be kind of an interesting composition because one figure is behind the other, and I kind of like that. It just kind of lends some mystery and interest to the page, so I'm kind of digging that already. And I'm really loving all the white stuff, you guys. Like, it's really just something new, like, you know, because I think in a lot of the spreads it's not new, like completely new for me, but I haven't done it in a long time. I think I did a video on backgrounds like 6 months ago or so, and I did show a lot of backgrounds, and some of those did have the plain white page, but I haven't done it recently, so it's kind of new-ish, which I'm kind of really liking. So I'm just going to kind of go like so. And I'm gonna leave this over here with a lot of the yellow because I want her dress to be yellow. So I'm gonna use some of this ink, which is what I used over here, and I'm just gonna kind of like block it in. And I'm gonna try to figure out like what do I want to do with the background, since I am gonna leave a lot of the white already on the page. And a lot of times, you guys, like I know when I first started painting, middle layers kind of get lost in the mix a little bit because, you know, first layers are exciting and it gets your blood like flowing because you're like, oh my God, I'm so scared of the white page. And then, you know, you're like putting stuff down. It's like very exciting. It's like making something from absolutely nothing. And then the finishing stages, they also tend to be, they get a lot of like, attention because, you know, you're finishing things up, you're bringing things into fruition, completing them. But I think the middle layers are super, super important, and they might even be the most important because you're building on what the first layers were, but you're also navigating the path to how it's going to end up. So, I mean, every stage of the painting is important, of your, you know, every stage is. I'm not going to say like one stage is more important, but the middle layers often get lost in the mix, I think. So because I'm going to leave all of this white over here, like I'm going to leave the blank page, I think, now I don't want to cover this up, you guys, because I'm really loving so much of this juiciness here, but you know, sometimes you just gotta kind of cover up stuff you don't want to cover up. I don't know, just you do. I know, I hate it. I hate it. But maybe I can save some of this because I can like make hair, you know? Maybe I can do that. That might be, okay, that might be how I can save it. Okay, and let's see here. Okay, and I think I'm kind of feeling like a blue for the top there, but I really don't want to get rid of so much. Like I love so much of what's going on, but yeah, I'm wondering if I should wait. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with my Prussian blue here. I'm just gonna be bold and cover up stuff I don't want to cover up, unfortunately. So I just did the spread on Connie Solera's Painting the Feminine art journal, and for the first time since working on that particular art journal, I've been able to keep the busyness of the figures with the busyness of the background. And that's the first time I've been able to do that, because generally I talked about it in that series, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to bring some of that into the spread if I can, which is, you know, the busyness of the background, like keep it, and also the busyness of the figures. Maybe, I don't know if I can do that. It worked in her book. I don't know if it's gonna work on here, but we'll see. Okay, you guys, this is looking like a big juicy mess, which is good. I mean, I want it to be juicy, and I'm gonna let this dry completely. And let me just work on the face just a little bit here. I'm gonna add some collage here. And lately, you guys, I've been kind of really loving the dictionary pages when they don't sit completely flat. Like in the beginning, I used to use like kind of like an old credit card, and I would like get all the bubbles and everything out. Now, obviously, I still don't want bubbles, but I like it when it like kind of crumples up, and I just love the texture, and it like it just gets all wrinkly. I'm just loving that so much, and I appreciate it. So I don't want to get rid of it, actually. And there we go. Okay, you guys, maybe one more coat of this Prussian blue here, because I do want everything to dry completely. So yeah, I'm just gonna go really thick. So I guess, you guys, me keeping the background busy and the foreground busy, I guess that didn't really kind of pan out here. I kind of had that intention, but yeah, I'm just kind of going for it and covering it all up. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna let this be, and just let it dry naturally. And if you have any questions or comments, I would appreciate them, and I hope that this has been inspiring and given you food for thought. I will see you in my next video. Bye.